Yeah.
Toronto.
I'm not Canadian. I hate that city.
Hey, Toronto?
Absolutely.
Toronto's fine. It's not the best Canadian city. Most of the other Canadian cities are better than Toronto.
Well, I'll say I haven't been to Toronto since 1987.
Also, getting in traffic in Toronto is just being American brained, and that's your own fault.
So
Toronto traffic when you take an Uber anywhere is ridiculous. Their public transit is as good as Atlanta's. Let's not pretend like their public transit is like if you're on the MARTA and you get on and off the MARTA at like stops that matter, the MARTA rules. Otherwise, Atlanta fucking blows. Toronto's the same shit.
Except they have more.
You're either on the fucking MARTA, whatever the fuck they call it, or you're not. It's
just the T.
And it's like it's good if you're on the thing, but if you're not, it's fucking bullshit.
They also have streetcars.
The prices.
They also have buses, and they have trains that went literally to your destination.
The prices are ridiculous. It was an $80 Uber to get to the station, or an hour and a half via public transit to get to the station where the GO train left from, and then an hour and a half on the GO train.
You also stayed out in Thunder Bay, so that was your own fault.
I flew in 3 hours and 20 minutes before kickoff after being in 2 different countries and 2 different time zones to the other side. I went from Italy to London and then London to Toronto, all in the same day on multiple airlines. I'll tell you what I told Ella. I'm tired of being second guessed where I picked the fucking hotel. I picked a hotel that could have been gone on the way to the game, because you know what happens if you arrive at a game with your everything you care about essentially in one backpack, including a laptop, and you don't have anywhere to put it? Potentially, if there's one fucking delay. No, you have a hotel that you can get to. Plus, it was 8,000 points.
Team bus.
So double win. That's me praying that the team bus is there and they let me. If I would have rolled into that game, I had to stay outside because I couldn't put my backpack in and I couldn't put it in.
Why are we not recording this?
It is recording and I can't add it in. But like was the downside risk that
this is the shit that needs to be recorded.
I've already hit record. We can do the intro right after this.
Was Ricardo there?
Breezy's rant on Toronto.
Who was the Toronto guy?
I have no clue. There was nobody there.
Nobody cared? Okay.
There were 2 lines, and they wouldn't let us through the friends and family line. We only had to go through the buy a ticket line. And we bought our tickets, and there was one angry security lady on the field mean mugging us the whole time, and everybody else was like, whatever.
Everybody else?
The other 17 people in the stadium. I think 7 of which were ours. There was about 15 of us, including player parents, and like probably 50. Actually, there were probably close to 20 of them, including the players that were there that were not in uniform, but we were sitting in the stands.
Yeah. And how many staff members?
It was much, much lighter than it was the year before.
Unfortunately, it was not quite Nisa level because nobody got off the bench to come tell me to shut up. If that Matthew will remember at Great Park with
is that LA?
LA Force.
LA Force. Yeah,
that's the record. It's recorded, right? Isn't that wasn't it somebody's dad? No, it was. You said off the bench.
Some gentleman
got the same where it's off somebody's dad came up and talked to you.
No, that was a different game at the same stadium.
Oh, okay.
That was the LA Galaxy. No. Somebody got off the bench at that game and came and told me he was going to throw me out, and I was like, you cannot be on the bench and telling me you're going to throw me out of the game. That's not how this works. Also, I paid for my ticket. You can go away. Tell me what. By the way, he was mad that I was calling Hugo Gomez Brandon Gomez. That's why he was going to throw me out of the stadium. By the way, they didn't have the security to throw me out. He got thrown out. He almost got thrown out a different time, same stadium, but
different team
because he was yelling at the scorer's table because the scorer's table was yelling at the referee. Anyway, that was classic Nice. I was nowhere close to that. Is my whole point in Toronto. I was just, since I was the only one yelling.
Yes, we could tell.
I made a point. I made a few points.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's.
I think Heather said. Do you know anybody that went to Toronto? I'm like, listen. Can you?
You'll get there.
Just listen. You'll know one person.
I was a lot of hours with not very much sleep, and I had a great time. And I was nowhere close to getting kicked out. Thank you very much. All right, let's rock and roll. Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast. We are back from Studio Breezy. I am here with the GOAT, Bobble Juan, a table full of beverages, because it might be a long one in between these two podcasts, Peek Behind the Curtain, that we're going to record today. Sir Mix-a-Lot is right here. Tobinho is, I believe, taking refuge under the couch because his social battery has been drained in the 5 minutes he was with us. Jim is here. Matthew is here. And we are on YouTube, all the platforms. Please leave us likes, comments, subscribes. For real, it means a lot to us, and it makes us really happy as podcasters. The same thing that everybody else always says at the beginning of every podcast. Matthew, we have 3 games. And since you did such a wonderful show doc for this episode, I was going to let you go ahead and take us through the 3 games we're going to review.
Great. Okay, so let's reset where we were, and we do not plan on going very slowly with these 3 games, but let's reset where we were. We had just, at the last podcast that we reviewed, we had come off of a 2-1 win at home against Crown Legacy. That was a game where we started in the 3-4-3 that we've been playing for a little while, and then we switched at halftime into a 4-3-3.
Had a baby.
Moving Jesus Ibarra into midfield.
Yes.
Bringing Peter Plowman on.
It was an excellent second half.
It was an excellent second half.
A good win.
And so one of the things that we asked ourselves was, okay, like, do we go back to the 3-4-3 versus Columbus, who will play something similar? Or do we stick with the 4-3-3 because it went so well? We got our answer on Sunday. Columbus weekend's mostly a blur for me.
It was a Sunday.
I really don't remember a whole lot.
That may have been because we started drinking at 7 a.m. in the airport in Nashville.
On Saturday.
We
went to the Columbus San Jose game, the MLS game. Had a lovely time.
Shout out to our friends in Columbus. You guys were absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
We had a lovely
The hospitality was unmatched. Can't wait to do it again. So the answer is we came out in a 4-3-3. Not a ton of surprises if you move to a 4-3-3. The back line was Milo, Nathan Kohler, Fareed, Tate. In midfield, Nick Mendonça and Callum Watson, with Jesus Ibarra being the kind of more advanced option there. Mango on the left, Minjay on the right, and then Keegan Anselin as the striker. And
it mostly didn't work.
Here's the thing, like, it wasn't terrible. Nothing about Columbus was terrible except for the scoreline.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just like one of those games where, like, we've had some decent luck the beginning part of the season, right? And then we just didn't have that kind of luck, especially in that first half against Columbus, but really the whole game. Like, we hit the bar. Maybe we hit the bar in the first half. We hit once in the second half. Yeah. We didn't create a ton, but, like, we didn't give up a ton either. And then we gave up a decent chance right at the very end, I think possibly in stoppage time. And Columbus scored it. And we went down 1-0. We made a change. We brought Peter Plowman on at halftime.
He did everything except for score, including attempt to shatter the post when he hit it with I think what could only be described as a intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yeah. They didn't show this. They didn't show this on the stream. I'm told, but very clearly being there live while the match was going on, they had to take the goal out and put a new goal in because the structural integrity was compromised.
You're kidding. They replaced the goal?
No, they didn't do that, but they could have.
But they probably should have.
No, they would have shown that.
Yeah. You're like, there's no way they didn't stop the game for that.
So, like, but like the first half and the second half are two completely different stories. We dominated possession, we dominated chances, and in my mind, shut up. Okay. And
yeah, I do think, like, this was one where sometimes the scoreline flatters you, and, sometimes the scoreline flatters the opponent.
Okay, it turns out the possession was still 60-40 the other way. But
the scoreline flattered them in this game.
Yes.
Not because we were the better team.
We had 8 shots inside the box in the second half.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Peter gets like 6 shots off in the second half.
9 shots on of the 8.
Like, it was wild. Now
it's great. It's
now in pushing for that equalizer and coming very, very close a couple of times.
He did go to college in Ohio, so
we had we were vulnerable on the break,
I mean,
and we succumbed to the break twice.
Yeah, the first goal is a good goal. The second one happened pretty soon after we switched. I mean, I think it was even what you would call like during the transition period between when the team was adjusting to going from a 4-3-3 to a different system.
We also started making subs that were meant to give us more offense, and so make it like riskier.
It was the 68th minute. We had created several shots, and including like the Columbus's second goal comes on the break, and it comes right after a chance.
Yes.
Yeah,
we like hit the post, and then it comes back, and they go score or
the third
save
goal
or whatever.
It's
a wash.
It's just game state.
It's just a wash.
It's just like we are pushing. We got unbalanced, and
it's one of those like
sometimes you get broken on in this league.
Yeah.
a lot of it's not in this league in particular, but in any league, it's one of those like sometimes I think we look at how a manager might manage or choose managing him, and it's like, why don't you put in 3 strikers or whatever? And I'm just making up a position, but it's like, hey, we're chasing the game. Why don't you just throw everything at it? We did in this game at a certain point just throw everything at it, as far as like personnel and especially positioning, which everybody's going forward. And that's how we can see those, the third goal in particular, but also the second goal in a lot of ways. And so like, I don't know, vibes wise, coming out of that game, how were you guys feeling?
As I recall, I did not have any negative takes at all. I think I just chalked it up to more than a couple White Claws over the weekend and just decided that like...
You drink White Claws?
Yeah, sometimes. I think I just decided that like sometimes weird things happen in games, and sometimes when it rains it pours, and not to worry about it.
How are you feeling, Jim?
I just, it may be a surprise to you that I just revert to...
We're bad.
No. Okay.
It's a good bit, though.
Fair play to you. But, God, I've been seen. I figured it's regressing to the mean. Like, we, on another day, Peter doesn't shoot right at the keeper. On another day, the ball hits off the post and goes in. We created decent chances. The third goal is annoying because
it's annoying for goal difference, but that's not the first tiebreaker, so whatever.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's just annoying that that was not a 3-0 game.
That was probably a 2-1 game.
It was a 2-1 game at most.
2-1, 2-2. Honestly, 2-1 either way or 2-2 would have been a fair result, and we got beat 3-0. And so like.
So I talked to a Columbus, talked to a Columbus fan on the USL Discord that I'm on, and yes, I am on one.
Buddy, I've never heard you say those 3 letters together out loud, I don't think.
And his take was the same as mine. Like it's, they took a couple chances. We had decent chances, did not take them, and got caught on the break. I think, I don't know, you would know this way more than I would, but he said that the team that was on the pitch was made up of more of their, I guess, better Columbus 2 players, like more than other games of this season. So he was not surprised that they played well, and
he's not wrong about that.
They played the night before at home, so they needed to get some guys minutes after that, and they didn't have to worry about limiting anything.
Like they had their second choice Columbus 1 keeper play, who's a Guatemalan full international. They had the 19-year-old Taha Habrone play, who
what was he, a winger?
No, he's like I would put him in as one of the center midfielders, one of the regulars. But like he got minutes on Wednesday night for Columbus 1. They've been integrating him in a little bit this year. Cole Maraca, decent player. Nicholas Rincon, decent player. It wasn't all Owen Prestis scored against us last year. 23-year-old center back. Like it wasn't all, and then Chase Adams, like who's 17 as their striker, but who's also like most known now for scoring like 10 goals in one game against Little Sisters of the Dead in a CONCACAF competition.
Yeah. So, but I think his point was if you compare that to the rosters of the other games they've played, this was probably...
And so, like, with MLS Next Pro, like, you got to remember, like, 1 versus 29 doesn't mean anything because the lineups are just a little bit more fluid week to week for some of these two teams.
And in this league, you can get beat by anybody. Because especially because of the attacking talent, like ball goes in sometimes.
But if you look at Columbus results, this one looks weird. I mean, it's like where was this team?
Mm-hmm. What did they do after us?
Got drilled by Philly,
who we are about to talk about in a second. But
that's a good segue.
Yeah. So let's go to Philly. So going into the Philly game, this is the first game I've missed this year. I was visiting my in-laws, and so I did not actually watch this game. I only watched the highlights. I mean, thank goodness I did not try to stay up and watch this because that would have been tough for me with the rain delay. And I went I went to Rome for a Fiorentina away game the next day, and I didn't want to be completely annihilated. I think that was the
humble
day.
Brag.
It was really cool. A very, very cool experience for me. So not even a brag, just me feeling like I got to do a thing on my bucket list.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this one against Philly is a little bit weird because of the delay. Game was delayed by an hour. We reverted back to the 3-4-3. Although there was a little bit of a wrinkle in it.
I would argue the 3-4-3 is our standard formation, and any deviation from that now is a deviation.
I would agree.
Not that we have no tactical flexibility, because like we clearly have a second and sometimes a third option in formation and whatever else, but like the 3-4-3 is nailed on our one. It's 1 and then it's 2A and 2B in my opinion, as far as like other formations.
Yeah. So like a couple things that matter for this 3-4-3. Number one, Milo was out of the match day squad entirely, picked up a knock. Jesus out of the match day squad entirely, picked up a knock. So, we're still operating without, to this point, Amzi. We're still operating without Jalen James.
Which, by the way, if you check out the Instagram, saw both of them in training and pictures.
Yeah, so hopefully they're back. So the lineup went a little bit differently. Eldon's still in goal. Tate Robertson, Fareed, Nathan Kohler, Ethan Dudley across the back line, with Daniel Mangaroff moving a little bit deeper to becoming the left wing back in this system. Callum and Nick Mendonça in the middle. And then a 3-headed monster of Peter Plowman, Keegan Anselin, and Marcus Nilestead.
That is very fun.
We thought.
I mean, it's fun because
the vibes going in were like, oh, we've got all of our scorers up top. It's going to be a goal bonanza.
Look, we created a lot of chances.
Oh, I'm not. We did
in this game,
and 0 goals.
Well,
it was not a goalapalooza.
So like it was not a goalapalooza. Like we created a bunch of chances on another night. Ball could have gone in.
Speaking of regression to the mean, this game for me, I felt had the same vibes as you coming out of Columbus, and then cut this game looking back at the stats and then looking at the highlights and talking to people about how it went. Like to me, this one felt like a regression to the mean type of thing. Like, where we create some stuff, but like early on this season, we've created stuff, and then in the right moments, we put the ball in the back of the net. But we haven't always like had the XG to justify it. In this game, we created quite a bit and didn't put it in.
Yeah. I mean, like 14 shots that we took, all 14 were inside the box in this game. There's
that.
There's a one-on-one saved that I think Keegan gets broken free. One-on-one, it gets saved. I think Mango has an opportunity late that gets saved. You've got an offside call against Peter Plowman that he puts in the back of the net that probably shouldn't be offside. It's a bang bang. It's whatever.
No, it wasn't even close. But go ahead.
You posted that in the Slack, right? I saw the replay of that one. I didn't see that one obviously on the full thing.
Live, I was furious, but sometimes I'm like, okay, wait a minute, just chill out.
So watching both, there was 2 offsides. There was a Keegan one.
Yeah,
now the Keegan one is indefensible.
Yeah, he's in his own half.
He's in his own half by like 2 yards.
Yes, not even close.
So that
one's indefensible.
That one is
the other one's not either.
The other one,
unless there's one thing, and they'll still see if
I'm not happy about it, but they're crossing, and that mistake gets made. So like,
I think he screened. I think he doesn't. He is lined up on the wrong defender. The AR is wrong he's lined up on the wrong defender. There's a defender that is beyond or deeper
that he should be lined up
he
on.
Can't see. I don't know that he can see him just by where he's positioned. So if he was from what he was looking down, Peter was beyond that person. So he throws his flag up. He just doesn't see. If I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, he doesn't see that there's a deeper defender.
Got it. Yeah, I looked. So me seeing that, the only angle that I've seen of that, I just think like, man, that's a real bummer and a completely blown call. But like, it doesn't infuriate me; it just annoys me because like you're gonna miss some of those.
Well, the other thing that I think there's two things. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
There's another thing. The initial pass, Plowman is offside. The problem is it gets deflected by a CFC player. I believe it's a flick on by like a head. And so Peter's offside when that initial pass is made, but he's not offside when it's flicked on. And so there's two things. I don't know if he's lined up on the wrong person, and he may have
not seen the flick.
In his mind was playing off the initial long ball.
I guess
it's a call that
my point is
a call that you
my point is the same as the same as Breezy's here is like when you have crossing players like that, like one person who is deeper than the other person and they're going in different directions around when a flick occurs, that gets missed all the time at this level.
Yeah,
it just does.
And this isn't saying it's okay. It's
this
just
one's a little worse than the average, but I take your
what
point.
I'm saying is emotionally, I'm less like I'm not happy about it. We should be 3 points,
no.
but like
I mean, I was mad at the time. I was frustrated, and I know the coaching staff was furious because one of them sent me a DM. So I was really like I was happy when I left the stadium. Like I think we should have won the game, but
happy with the performance.
Yeah, I thought the performance
I was
was
happy
good.
with the performance.
It was not a bad 0-0. I mean, a 0-0 was not an outrageous result. I mean, they created some things too. They're a good team.
Very good
They're
team.
a very good team.
And so I was like, you know what? As far as 0-0s go, I didn't stay to watch the PKs because of the delay. I needed to get back. My pups had been contained for a while.
Yeah, and it's a good thing those PKs don't count for an extra point or anything.
Well, who cares? Those fucking points, that just drives me. I
agree. I'm on your side on this.
The novelty of it was fun last year, but geez, it's just so stupid.
I hate it.
Yeah, I was really happy with the performance. I also had a few drinks that day, so
Yes.
I
Wait,
wasn't
you
as
drink?
mad about
I just keep learning things on this podcast.
Yeah.
I wasn't as mad about the him putting the ball in the back of the net. So because like the flag happened so early, it wasn't like the ball was in the back of the net and then they raised the flag.
Correct.
So like Peter scoring a 1-on-1 that like was very blatantly after the whistle, it's still a 1-on-1 chance.
Yes.
He still has to like score it. The keeper still has to try to save it.
Correct.
And like we missed a 1-on-1, so there's no guarantee that we would have scored it. And my mind that just like washed it clean. I was like, whatever.
The Anselin one's even further. Like he is way out he's on this edge of the pitch. Like yes, he's through, but I mean the defense is going to get back on him.
Except like neither he nor the defender knew that the whistle or the flag or whatever, because like they're scrapping at the edge of the 18.
Yeah.
By the way, that defender, not for nothing, gets hurt on that play.
Oh.
Is subbed out.
I didn't notice that.
And subbed out like either right after or like a couple minutes later, and I think he's still out, which is a real bummer because
we just need to send that AR a scarf. That's all.
That's a real. I think that player was supposed to make his first team debut in the Open Cup as well. Like,
shouldn't scrap with Keegan.
That's
Anselin.
right. Yeah, you should have just let him go.
It was offside, so yeah.
It wasn't offside.
Matthew.
He was in his own side of the pitch.
All right, let's move on to Toronto.
I want to kill him so bad right now.
Who, the AR or Matt?
Matthew.
Oh, okay. For both.
Because of the injustice of the offside and then him claiming knows how to push my buttons.
Let's move on to Toronto. So
Toronto.
We end up taking only 1 point from that game. So 1 point in two, not ideal, but
yeah.
I would argue like an okay performance in Columbus. It wasn't great, but like it wasn't as bad as 3-0.
Right.
I thought Philly was a really, really good performance against a really, really freaking good team.
Mm-hmm. And
Philly was full strength minus not having Kevin Sullivan.
For me, also, and then we can close up the Philly game. For me, vibes wise, like and brain wise, coming out of the Philly game, watching us play well against a really good team meant a lot more than the result because we've gotten some results not playing well, and those will not continue. But if we continue to play well, we will likely get more results. So I saw that Philly game, and I'm like, hell yeah.
That's also the first time the Philly game at home is the first time in our what are we now in, like 40 matches of MLS Next Pro, whatever it is, not quite 40 matches yet, where we have played against like not just like an okay, decent team, because like the list of decent teams in MLS Next Pro is like basically if you're fourth in the table to like 12th, right?
This is Columbus last year.
Even the shit teams are still like decent, kind of. Like the margins are pretty small in this league. But like the really, really good teams, like we beat Cincinnati 3-0 in a game last year, in a game that kind of resembled us against Columbus, a couple weeks ago. We're like, it's not really a 3-0 game. It's pretty even, whatever. And we caught them before they got good, to be honest. Philly was the other like really, really good team all year. Philly is, again, this year, really good. It's the first time that we've like really been matched well against one of the best teams. One of the best teams that's also playing well.
Yeah.
Which gives me a lot of it for me, it tells me that like we got results and we kind of back-assed our way through a couple of games at the beginning of this year. But I think it's showing that like we're really putting something together that's sustainable. And I hope to see that more going forward through the summer.
Just noticed Jim's wearing a Founders Day t-shirt for Founders Day.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up eventually, but yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I forgot. I knew it was Founders Day today. I didn't make the connection until.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Toronto. So in
Toronto,
in Toronto, we kept the back the back three, the back five system. Mango's still left wing back. Tate's still right wing back.
Milo on the bench this time.
Milo's on the bench this time.
Probably not 90 minutes fit, but not broken anymore, which was good to see.
You see a one change that was made between the weeks. It was Logan Brown becoming the right center back.
Well, something that we've seen so far in this 3-4-3 as we've kind of solidified, like the two of the center back spots are Farid in one of them, alternating sides.
Yep.
And then Nathan Kohler in the middle.
Just in the middle.
And then you have Logan and Ethan are just kind of switching back and forth. And sometimes one of them starts, sometimes the other one starts. But most of the time, both of them play in the same game. Not every game, but many games. They're switching out for each other and just flip-flopping back and forth on who starts. And it's really been a nice balance of like fresh legs where you have guys that come in. We have a much deeper bench this year, I believe. And we see that like when somebody gets tired, anybody, or just gets a yellow card or whatever else, you can immediately bring in a guy that's going to keep the performance level high, and that's not evidenced any more clearly than that center back spot, where continually we are rotating through and being able to make changes and keep legs, keep freshness, and yeah, it's been really good. So it was nice to see continue to both guys get minutes, keeps everybody sharp. I feel like.
Watson and Mendonça in center midfield. And then some changes at the top. So if the Philly game was marked by all three strikers playing, a couple changes were made. Peter Plowman kept his role starting at the 9. But
Philly was Peter's first start, correct?
Yeah, I believe
And he
so.
went 90 minutes, which is a big milestone for us.
Minjae Kwok started on the left-hand side. And then Robert Screen started on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I really didn't understand that. He did a ton of running, but he's not a winger.
But is he a wide forward?
He is most certainly not a wide forward. It felt a little bit like when they shoehorned Callum in there for a few weeks, where it was like, the best part about Callum is you want him on the ball, and you want him on the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And Robert Screen did a ton of running, and obviously we won and we played pretty well. So like, spoilers, sorry. So like, I'm not like, from that point of view, I'm not questioning the decision. I just, man, it was odd. It was an odd thing to see because that was not what I was expecting going in, and it's not what I expect to see going in the future either. But I think it's probably mostly due to guys' rotation.
I'm going to remind you,
and guys being out.
Jalen James didn't make the trip. Amzi didn't make the trip. Jesus Harbara didn't make the trip. So, like, as long as you have three wingers that are out, at some point, you have to get creative. We're already shoehorning Keegan Ansel in a little bit.
Well, we're already taking Mango, who's a winger now.
And because you didn't have Milo, you had to pull.
It was just, again, I would have expected to see Keegan there or something else. It worked. It was odd.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Odd.
But, like...
Yeah, it was strange.
And it wasn't a defensive sub. Seeing him come in to finish out a game and help us finish out, totally not acceptable, but sorry, expected, rather. This was just like, excuse me?
Yeah,
do we have the formation wrong?
Yeah,
but
I was confused. I was like, is this a 4-4-2? Like, I don't understand.
But I will mention...
Or not, I was a 3-5-2. That's what I was, because I was like, there are only three center backs. I don't understand where his screen's going.
Bingo.
I will mention that he was 20 of 22 for passing, and he created a big chance. So,
yeah.
I will point out, I didn't say he was terrible. I said I didn't understand when I saw his lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has...
I wonder if Toronto didn't understand either. And that's how helped that we got two goals.
I think the average age
off the bat.
Just looking from the stands, I think the average age of the Toronto players was about 16 and a half. They seemed like actual children for the most part.
What are you, like a USL truther?
Absolutely not.
They were not. Yeah, I'm looking at the ages. Well,
I'm just telling you, they all seemed to be
like 21, 22, 20.
They all seemed they played like children. And that was helpful for us.
First half.
Yeah. I mean, second half, they were better, for sure.
Yeah.
Except for the guy who scored against us, who actually was 15.
This fucking league, man.
Oh, Jesus.
It's life in the fast lane.
All right, so continue, Matthew. Sorry. We get two goals. First, the earliest of the two goals, was nice because it's a big chance, unmarked header, nice flick. Like,
just a really good set piece.
It's nice.
It's wonderful. It's a perfect delivery from Tate. It's a lovely, lovely finish.
Mm-hmm.
Peter celebrates.
Hilariously.
Peter celebrates. So when you like, I'm trying to think of like when you're so happy, like. When you score the golden goal in like a thing that's not real, but like the golden goal thing to win a game, and you're like, yes, I won! Ah! Like that's how he celebrates every goal, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
I loved how this time no one tried to tackle him. They just let him celebrate, and they waited until he got all his energy out, and then they hugged him.
Yeah,
which just the vibes were great.
Well, you and I were talking before. I mean, so he plays. I think he plays angry. Like he plays angry, and he celebrates angry.
He celebrates so angry. The way he heel clicks and then he pumps both.
Yeah.
It's like the disrespect of them daring to be on the field with him and get in his way. It's amazing. It's my favorite.
I just realized. I think I said that Keegan had a one-on-one chance against Philly. Pretty sure that's against Toronto, actually. In fact, I know that's against Toronto. It's our only shot in the second half. The thing about the Toronto game is it's full on a tale of two halves for us, right? I thought...
It's something we need to get better at.
Yeah, and one of the things specifically is scoring the two goals was great. Like Minjay's goal is a fantastic sequence.
Yes. Very nice.
And a wonderful finish.
Tate clowning around with a couple of players and then launching a perfect outlet ball. Peter does great hold-up work and then plays Minjay into space, and Minjay just takes it from there.
Let me tell you a little story about this game. So they blow the whistle at the beginning, and the game starts, and I don't know, roughly 30 seconds in, they signaled to Tate that there's something wrong with his wardrobe. And they literally said, you can't see this on the stream. They send him off the field. So we played down a man for like
By the way,
2 minutes.
you can see this.
Can you see it on the stream? Okay, yeah. I couldn't see it on the replay, so I just assumed you couldn't see it. So he leaves the field, and
when he leaves the field, we don't see him anymore.
He is pissed because like there's some sort of wardrobe they want him to go change in the middle. I mean, this is like 30 seconds into the game. So he goes running off the field, halfway straight over into the locker room. He comes out less than 2 minutes later. It's really quick. I don't know exactly what, but he fixed whatever it was.
I know what it was because the referee pointed at it. It was his undershorts.
Were they the wrong color?
Yeah, it was black.
What we were wearing white.
We were wearing blue, light blue.
No, man, it's picky. I mean, it's a thing, but that's really picky.
I couldn't see the undershorts.
I could. As soon as he got fouled, everyone saw him.
I couldn't.
Referee sure did. Tell you that.
To be fair, I had been imbibing a bit.
You were also
what was Toronto wearing?
Red.
That's fit.
Yeah. So they make him go change, I guess, his undershorts. And he comes, and that was the rumor in the stands that's what was wrong. But like, I didn't verify that because I didn't see them before and I couldn't see them after. So, but he leaves the field for 2 minutes. He comes straight back on. He takes
the real story would be if he just went commando the second.
By the way, he probably did, and he just kept swinging and smacking dudes, which is why he killed them the rest of the second. He more than metaphorically put his right on their face. Dude, he comes back out 2 minutes later. Well, after he comes back out, because he takes about 2 minutes to kind of like get another chance. He was playing angry. Yeah. I hope they send him off in every game to change his shorts. He was so mad. He was turning guys. He was spinning. That he was playing pissed off, like in the most wonderful way. He was low-key man of the match if Nathan Kohler wasn't like Superman.
Yeah.
Like that whole game, like.
How the hell did
Tate? Anyway, it was wonderful, and like to watch. I think the reason we scored that first goal is because Tate was so mad, and the second goal in particular too, when he humiliates those guys and plays the ball. Like Tate was just like, "Fuck you, fuck you." You remember the song, "Fuck you, you and your mom and your sister and your dog and your job, excuse me, and your broke ass car," and it goes everything but your dog. You know that song? That felt like Tate's anthem for that game because he was just mad at everybody, and it was awesome.
That's another 2 goal contributions for Tate. He is the leader in goal contributions on the season for us.
That it's so good. And so he creates the Minjay one made me think of that. And the Minjay one was just phenomenal finish, good cut in.
Really nice.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's the Minjay Kwok experience where like you don't like it's either unbelievable or you're screaming, why did you do that?
Why'd you give the ball away?
He has created 2 goals by himself this year. I mean, like he's the goal he scored and he has a layoff for Peter that are just unreal, perfect.
Oh yeah, that layoff is
and like
insane.
I mean the layoff is like maybe the touch of the year. Yeah. And so it was wonderful to see him get a goal. I think I'm blaming it on or giving credit to the new haircut. I think we've got a new Minjay.
That new haircut's good.
I think we got a new Minjay. We got a new Minjay. So it was wonderful. And then Nathan Kohler, whose family is out there, shout out to them, who were out there and they're always there for every game. They're the best. They were yelling. So I turned around. I was like, I recognize those voices. Then they came and joined us second half. But he at one point had 5 straight possessions where he blocked or stole the ball. 5 fucking straight.
When was that When was that header? When was that defensive header? Was that
second
half?
Second half.
I still don't know how he got away with that.
The defensive header is mind blowing and probably unrepeatable. In like for the next, I mean, that might be the save of someone's career, right? When you play that in front because like the timing and everything else. But he had 5 straight possessions in that little period of time too. I don't remember if that's one of them, but he has 5 straight possessions because I remember I made up a number. I don't remember what percentage of the world's covered by water and the other's covered by Nathan Kohler, excuse me. I was going to make it's an old N'Golo Kante joke, but like it was true during that game. Like he just like took that game over.
Yeah.
In a way that Matt mentioned, like he's a lot like Sean Russell, where like when he gets in a moment where you need to defend, like he is a talented defender, he's an incredibly good defender, and like he has an intangible, which is to like he's got defense in his DNA. Yeah. He's not I don't know what his position was growing up, but to me, if you told me he's a converted winger, or a striker, I would be shocked. I think he's probably a guy who's like a center back and has been a center back forever. And you just see his ability he dominated at a certain point the game for 10 minutes when they were in the ascendancy and he was just like, nope, you cannot. Yeah. Nope, you cannot.
Yeah. Like you can tell like he's not the greatest like forward passer of the ball, right? Like most of his passing is left and right, 10 yards.
And that's what he's asked to do, to be
like,
fair.
And that's like, and I'm not knocking here, like no shade. His defensive ability to read the game, to anticipate where he needs to go, how he helps cover for his other defenders, how he like just throws his body.
Also, he's
to block.
He's a physical specimen.
You can see like, yeah, if like his background the last couple of years has been playing in the like lower divisions of England, and it makes a lot of sense. Like you see that, like that kind of just that English grit,
American grit, sir. How dare you?
I mean, listen to him talk for 5 seconds and you'll think otherwise.
Buddy, that man is American. I don't care what you say.
But like, let's go through his stats from the game. He's got 1 ball cleared off the line, 3 blocks, 5 clearances, 2 of them are headed, 1 interception, 3 recoveries. Like he was everywhere that second half.
Yeah.
And I think his
that
inclusion
game's easily 2-2, maybe 3-2 without Nathan Kohler.
I think his presence gives the other center backs in this game, it was for most of the game it was Logan, and then for all 90 minutes it was Fareed. It gives them just a little bit extra freedom and ability, because those are the guys that are really going to play the progressive passes from the back. It gives them just that little bit extra freedom and that little bit extra confidence that if they need to take one more dribble to be able to take that ball and fire that ball forward, if anything goes wrong, Nate's got your back.
I'll give you one more. I agree with that. I think it's even more so he gives you the ability to play Callum, who is not naturally a 6 in one of the 6 positions. And you get to play Nick Mendonça, who is a bit of a 6-8 combo guy. Mm-hmm. It allows you, because he's right behind them, a different center back in that position means those guys have to be much more tactically and disciplined. And I'm not saying they get super far out, but like they also have a lot more freedom because Nathan's cleaning up things behind them. That was a wonderful game, a wonderful coming out party, in the sense that like Nathan hasn't had a game where he starred like that so far this season, and that was the Nathan Kohler show, and that was awesome.
It was pretty brilliant, fantastic. Couple subs get made late. Toronto scores pretty late. It becomes squeaky bum time towards the end.
Yeah, they scored an okay chance, but it's not as big a chance as some of the other ones they had in that game. So like it was good.
It's really well taken, and it's an opportunity that gets created because we get caught a little bit up the field, and they just transition really, really well. Which is when Toronto's at their best. They're playing a little bit like we do in that quick transition mode and getting numbers forward. Which just makes it a lot harder to key in on the ball and the player. And then a great finish from a fucking 15-year-old.
And it's taken really early too, so there's like no reacting to it, whatever else. But it was awesome.
We hold on 2-1 win.
And Eldon did not have to make. He has the one that they should have scored that was right in front, that's bouncing, that's really high, that's a tough finish, but they should score. But like Eldon does not make like 5 one-on-one saves in this game. Unlike a lot of other games this season where Eldon's had 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 like one-on-ones where you're like, Jesus, can we not do that? Sorry, it's Jesus Barra. Can we not do that? This game didn't have any of that. He had a couple big saves. Like we're gonna rely on him in every game.
And that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen in every game. And I'm dreading hopefully in 5 years when he eventually retires, not having him. But this game was a little different because we did not allow those like cut through. Oh my God, we're 1-on-1. The guy's 2 yards. Eldon's flying out. We had none of those.
By the way, it's kind of same with Philadelphia as well. And I think that speaks to like the growing of.
Didn't he have one in there?
Where this team, he might have had one, but like everyone gets one. Like the numbers have dropped.
Everybody gets one.
And I think like you're seeing the numbers drop. The XG against is coming down at the same time. The performances have gotten better.
And this is
that speaks really well because the performances weren't getting better at this point in time last year.
No.
Amen.
So hopefully those trends continue and we move into now. We're hoping to drop this today, right? So we're moving into a game. Huntsville, that's what it is. A game tomorrow at Huntsville, 1 and 2 in the power rankings, and it's going to be a really, really difficult game away from home.
So So I'll wrap up to say my thought, or we can come back obviously talk about more if we want. But Toronto solidified. We're now 9 games in. The first 4 or 5 games of the season was we're getting some results here, but the performances are not necessarily there. Mm-hmm. The last few games, the performances haven't been perfect, but they've been better. We've continued to get better. Peter really changes the game every time he comes in. And when we're starting to really be the better team for entire halves, sometimes entire games. And that's really important because obviously these little fuckers are going to level up at some point on the developmental curve. But we are now going to have a huge test. So I'm feeling better than I was vibes-wise. I don't know how good we are, but I no longer think boy, we're bad and getting lucky. I wasn't sure on that, but there was a little voice in the back of my head going, what if we're just bad and lucky? Because
that was the worry last year.
Yeah.
Right, and then it turned out to be partially true. But now we're going in to face a Huntsville team that I was on the airplane, or maybe in the airport on the way back, and I was looking at Huntsville's stats. They are first in so many counting stats offensively. It is insane. They are first in, and I'm going to make up some numbers, but they're first or second in shots, first or second in possession, first or second in big chances. It was this huge, and this was a week ago, so potentially some other teams have passed them, but their average possession is really high. They're creating a lot of shots, and they're scoring a lot of goals. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to play a team that does what we wanted to do last year. Now, they don't do it exactly like we did, but they want control and they want to hold the ball. And we're going to play them, and they're going to be really good, potentially. And this is a really big test for us tomorrow. Does this decide our season? Of course not. It's game number 10. But there's a chance, if we go out tomorrow and have a good performance, it will continue a trend of good performances as time goes on of us playing with good teams. Also, I think Huntsville might be one of the better teams in the league. We'll see. But watching their highlights and watching their stats, they have a plan. They keep the ball a lot, and they can hurt you, especially because they don't just have a half court offense, so to speak, where they come in and they dribble in and they press you down and they score. They can just go long because Studenfeld, whatever his name is an insane athlete, and if they just kick it long, he might just take the ball, and if he's like Joao Costa. If he gets out on the dribble, you're not catching him.
Yeah, so one thing I'll be interested in with Huntsville, it appears that Christian Kofi is going to be out with red card suspension.
Very good.
Okay, they're just going to bring in Damian Barker-John or play Alan Carlton at the left-hand side. They've got really, really good players to fill in.
But no matter who it is a step down from Christian Kofi.
And
his name is Christian, right?
Yeah.
I knew it was Kofi.
And I need to take this phone call.
All right, buddy. We can just take a little break here if you want.
You guys can wrap up.
Okay. We're doing it live. So, I don't know. Jim, what will you feel like results-wise out of this Huntsville game? The different permutations. We get squished and play bad. Are you back to feeling negative vibes or
no? For me, it'll be about the performance. If we lose and play poorly, if we win and play poorly, everybody likes the 3 points. The 3 points would be great, but I'm right now just worried about the performance. I want to see more of what we did in the first half against Toronto, and what we did in the Philly game. If people don't remember, we've played we played a home match against this team.
And they pinned us back.
Oh my gosh!
And tried to give us a wedgie or a noogie or pick your elementary school.
Mango got a really early goal in that game, and then we were
hanging off from a cliff by our fingernails.
The stats are just insane. It was 73% possession. They had 26 shots to R5. Now a lot of those were just wild shots, so they only had 5 on target. But just passes, corners. 12. It was just insane. We blocked shots. We had, we got luck. That's one of those matches where we got 3 points, but I'm not sure if we deserved it.
Toby.
So hey. I hope it's not that.
Toby.
Well, I hope it's that result, I guess. But
yeah.
But
I want to see. I'm the same way. I want to see a good performance. I don't really. I do care about the results, and like we're in a little bit of a negative stretch here, so to speak, compared to our first run. But like, I want to see that we can compete with a good team.
Yeah, I don't want us parking the bus.
No,
but
I think we'll look to get out on the break. I don't think their center backs are that good. And their center backs didn't have to deal with Peter Plowman.
The thing is, they score a lot of goals, but they also give up a lot of goals. So they have a lot of draws because they give up goals.
For sure. I mean, they are beatable. I just think
and Carolina just held them 0-0.
Which is crazy because Carolina's not great.
So I mean, it was at Carolina, but still, I mean, they look dangerous when you look at their results. 5-0 over Chicago, 4-0 over Inter Miami.
The 4-0 Inter Miami is I don't know what happened in that one. The Chicago one is just an aberration in the sense that they got a red card early on they drew a really good red card, but they drew a red card. And then like Chicago, that game could have been like 3-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
While being down a man. I mean, like Chicago should have had a goal or two.
So they've got good stats, but if you look at, they have drawn 4 of their last 6 matches. So
love that.
They do give up. They do give up a goal here or there. So if we could play solid, we have a good balance, be aggressive on the counter, be sound defensively. Let's say I think our draw would be great. Like a 1-1 draw would be really good.
I mean, I think it goes back to, and then we'll wrap up here. But it goes back to you want to get a point on the road,
yeah,
and you want to win at home. And like I'll be perfectly pleased with the draw, whatever permutation that takes. It's signed for that right now. Obviously, want to win a draw with an extra point would be awesome, but like let's come out of there with something. Or if we're going to lose, like I want to see a continued evolution of, hey, we're going to be competitive with everybody this season.
I don't want to see 80-20.
Yeah. I mean, like look, if they have 60% possession and 20 shots, and we have 7 shots and 40% possession, like that's going to feel really bad.
Well, I think you're in for a little bit of that, but
well, I mean, look,
hopefully they're going to be. A lot of their shots, like I said, were wild against. They were from distance. We were singing over the crossbar a lot. So
we were.
But yeah. So I think we're in for. I think we're in. I think the keeper's going to have to. He'll probably be the man of the match.
Eldon. I mean, I do think we'll be under it. Also, like their midfield, like Casas is he had his game of his life against us, but he's watching him. He's really, really good. Yeah. Do they choose to play him alongside and just like keep the ball the whole time? It's O'Brien, I think, that plays next to him usually. And they can really heat. But their center backs have not dealt with Peter Plowman yet, and their center backs, from my estimation, are their weak spot. So
yeah, and you and I were talking about before we started. Again, the thing that has pleased me so much about him is that he can have his back to goal inside the 18, and you're thinking, okay, he's in a decent position, and then in a split second he's turning in and shooting on target, and he just plays with such
intensity, ferocity.
Yeah, intensity is probably a better word, but everything about him on the pitch seems just really intense. And
he's really changed, I think, our fortunes, meaning like once we got him on the field, our ability to control. Hey, buddy, it's Matt. He was just here. Our ability to change games and control games.
Yeah.
Because they have to commit an entire extra defender and sometimes 2 extra defenders just to watch him.
I hope he gets to start. I hope he plays full 90, and I hope he gets 3 goals.
Bingo. That's right. All right, Matthew. I think we're about to wrap up here. Do you have anything to add before we? Well, are you being subpoenaed by the House?
Considering I wasn't listening for a solid.
Well, there was. I mean, there wasn't much that we said.
We didn't say anything of substance.
You know what?
Let's
do this. My final thoughts are what I've been saying already, so no big deal.
Would you sign in Sharpie for a draw right now for a point?
Away from home? Does it come with the extra? Does it come with the shootout?
That's just a coin flip. You don't get to. You don't get to.
We're not giving you.
I'd probably take a draw away from home.
I'd take a draw on this.
That's what we agreed on that.
You know what? Let's do this real quick though before we wrap up, since this is dropping right now. Happy Founders Day.
Happy Founders Day.
CFC is 16 years old.
We can drive.
And
once we pass our test.
Once we pass the test.
And like it's really, really cool to see. I mean, I guess the last 16 years, like how this is all how this has all come together and evolved over time, right? From 4 games at home that first year to 5 the next year to, competing for NPSL championships throughout the years, those big playoff crowds, international friendlies, a literal war, and navigating the ascension to the professional ranks and dealing with the unprofessionalism of the professional ranks, to finding our home in MLS Next Pro, and all the kind of the associated things. Like, it's been a hell of a ride, and I've really enjoyed the community that this place has brought me, friendships and all the things. It's been awesome.
To CFC, boys.
To CFC.
Yeah, to CFC.
Huntsville tomorrow. Huntsville tomorrow.
Huntsville tomorrow, yeah.
Are you coming to Huntsville?
I was. Now I have something I need to do tomorrow, so I will not be making the trip. It is a great trip. So if you're listening to this today, and you've not gone away, Huntsville's the one. It's close. It's not bad. There's a good. I know you guys going to that restaurant.
Yeah, we'll go to Back 40 Brewing before the game.
Yeah, and it's a nice stadium. It's an old baseball field, but
it's been fully redone.
You're not playing on a baseball field. You're playing on a pitch.
It's a cool setup.
It's a cool setup.
There are supporters. They're pretty. They're nice. I
don't know what the weather's going to be like, but they have crowds. So
it's a perfect day for a CFC game, whatever the weather is.
That's true. You will see people running around in Nashville jerseys, so feel free to make fun of them for that. But,
yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
I do also want to mention 2 more things, and it's funny. Like the 3 shirts we're wearing are the 3 things that I want to bring up. So we did Founders Day, CFC Women. Their season starts next Friday night. We are about to record a season preview for that. You will be listening
to roster preview more than anything.
Kind of Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there to preview, get ready for the opening match and for the season, as well as you'll see some stuff on socials coming out pretty soon. If you're not in the Chattahooligans Slack, Pride Raiser is almost here. Mm-hmm. The Chattahooligans are partnering.
Matthew, what is Pride Raiser?
The Chattahooligans are partnering with the Seed Theater. Pride Raiser is a month-long campaign where it's real simple. We partner with a community organization or a group or whatever. We've had several years with Prism Center at UTC, and we partner with a group to raise money for an organization that does good work in the community. And so Seed Theater was chosen for this year. They're doing a ton of really good work for a marginalized community, and it's real simple. You pledge a certain amount of money. A lot of people do $4.23 per CFC goal scored in June. That goes for men's teams. That goes for women's teams. So it's real simple. You see a goal, you cheer, you donate. In practice, what that looks like is beginning of July, you'll get a link based on your pledge. You could always adjust your pledge if you need to. If CFC blows the doors out and it's a little steep, feel free to adjust your pledge. If we have a dry month, hopefully we don't, but if we have a dry month, feel free to adjust your pledge up a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do community and to do right by the community. It's a great initiative. It started here in Chattanooga, believe it or not.
It did start right here, and now it is much more than just here.
There's a ton of money has been raised across North America.
A couple $1 million, I think.
It's something incredible. So anyway, Pride Raiser started. You can locate the Chattahooligans Pride Raiser campaign at cha.prideraiser.org.
It's live?
It's live. We're already above, I checked this morning or last night, we're above $100 per goal.
Let's go.
Sweet.
already.
All right.
Let's go.
So,
let's try to
I-
get that to $1,000 a goal.
I got to make my
At least
pledge.
$423 a goal.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I got to go make my pledge.
I do too. I haven't done
Yeah, I
it.
do too. I didn't know it was live.
and you out there, please make a pledge as well. Join us, whether you're a Chatter hooligan like in section 109 every night, or you're just a podcast listener. You're in the Nougat section, or you're
Just a podcast listener.
or you're
Total sicko.
you're outside the area. It's a great way to stay connected and help the community a little bit. So.
Absolutely. Come find us if you're in Huntsville, and we will see you guys soon. Peace.